Thanks for taking the time to join again. Always excited to see a lot of familiar faces and new people as well. We always have new features to show you. We always have exciting news. So today is going to be a special topic on self-generated permits, how you guys can utilize Solargraph to basically be more productive, more efficient, and more accurate, and have more control over your permit plan sets. So I'll just give it another minute. I see people are hopping on, and then we'll get started. And again, as a reminder for everyone, we're going to have a Q&A session at the end of the demo that Mikhail is going to run. And all your questions are welcome. We're going to try to answer questions as much as we can live and on the chat as well. So we've got a few moderators that are going to be answering questions in the chat. All right, so people are joining. We'll give it another minute. All right. All right, as people join, I'm going to start by just introducing us as myself, Hisham Habib, been with the Solargraph product for almost 6 years now, prior to being part of InPhase. So I run business development for Solargraph and our permit design services. Today I've got a special guest, Mikhail. He's our product line management director. He's the person in charge of the whole project and providing a feature that allows you guys to take full control in generating your permit plan set. So he's going to be doing the live demonstration today. Quick agenda of what we're going to cover today. So I see some new faces as usual on the session. So we're just going to give a quick overview of the platform, what Solargraph is, some of our design services that we offer, and then benefits of using self-generated permits that Mikhail will cover in more detail visually. I've got a few poll questions just to give us an idea of how you guys are currently set up today. And then we'll start with the demo. We will do the full demo, the solar PV design plus battery, all the way up to generating the permit plan set. We won't focus much on the proposal today, but as you know, after generating a PV design and adding a battery to it, you'll be able to generate a proposal that you can share with your customers. But I want to give the time to Mikhail today to really show you how you can generate a permit plan set. Prior to that, an SLD file that you can download in AutoCAD and basically have that ready for your submissions. And then, of course, we'll open the Q&A session. And as I mentioned, please include all your questions in the chat. We will try to answer as many questions during the Q&A sessions live. Any questions that we need to get back to you on, we will make sure to get back to you by email. You will all get a recording, because I get that question a lot. You'll all get a recording, and you'll get the deck that we will cover today in a post follow-up email with CTAs on how you can meet with the rep to look at Solargraph, or how you can possibly be part of our beta session. So just so everybody knows, Solargraph, the feature we're going to cover today is in beta. We're expecting to go GA with it by mid-August, but we wanted to kind of host this webinar to give a teaser to everybody. Before I get started, I'd like to run a poll question really quick, just to give us an idea of what do you guys currently use to create your permit plan set. So is it a specific tool that you use, or is it a vendor that you're using, or any other tool besides AutoCAD? So I'll just run the poll and give it a few seconds. All right, see. So a lot of people are not using or outsourcing the permanent plan set designs, basically. Okay, it's interesting. So that might be something you want to bring in-house, or something you can explore with our design services. Perfect. All right, so moving on. So for those of you seeing Solargraph for the first time, just to give you a quick high-level idea of what Solargraph is all about. So it is a design and proposal software that allows you to create accurate designs and proposals that are web-based that you can share with your customers, discuss in real time. We have done a lot of work the last 2 years to get our AI for shading and production numbers as accurate as possible. And we were able to get certified by NYSERDA, NREL, and we just finished our third-party bankability report. That has opened a lot of doors for us to work and basically get our production numbers and shading numbers approved by different fintechs, like Everbright, like Lightreach. Those all approve Solargraph today. For further integrations, those would come down the line as we work with them hand to hand. The other part of it is the customization of a web-based proposal, completely customizable to your business requirements or business logos, designs, etc. You'll be able to show all types of financials in a proposal. We are tied up with different AHJs that are fully integrated in Solargraph. We'll cover that a little bit more intense in the demo. We have a materials database that is integrated with different distributors. Utilities and tariff, we use Genability. So we're outsourcing a lot of partners to basically provide a very streamlined design experience using the platform. The other portion of Solargraph is we also do proposals on demand. So we can design customizable proposals to your requirements, providing 24/7 support. We have expedited services. We have our standard services. We do new constructions, ground mounts, and battery designs. On the proposal side, we also do commercial. And then we have our permit design services. So for those of you that would still prefer to outsource the permit design services, you're still able to order a complete permit plan set, similar to what Mikhail is going to show today. We have our own database that covers all 50 states, and we continue to build the knowledge on different AHJs just to be up to date with the changing requirements for different AHJs. And then, of course, we support solar storage, batteries. Our standard turnaround times are 24 hours. And then we have the automated permits and SLDs. So we will provide you the complete file that Mikhail is going to show through our permit design services. So that's kind of in a nutshell what Solargraph is as a platform. This is a slide I like to show just to give everybody an idea where we are and how credible we are in the market. We've actually exceeded more than 2 million proposals designed in Solargraph. Our design team has completed over 1 million permits. We've got 2,000 customers plus, and that customer base is growing day to day as we attract more customers to use the platform. We support 5 different languages, more than 7,500 users using the platform today, a mix of project managers, designers, sales reps, even business owners. We are currently live in 5 countries, and we're expanding massively as we focus on the European market. So these are some of the highlights. How do you use Solargraph to generate those compliant permit plan sets? So just wanted to run over very high level, benefits. So reducing your cycle time. So we not only help you reduce cycle times when you're creating designs all the way up to proposal, but we took it to another stretch where you're able to reduce your time spent on a permit plan set and be able to get those done very productively and in a very efficient manner. Reducing all the operating expenses in terms of resources that you're using, putting everything into your control so you have full control after you complete a design in Solargraph. You can generate a permit plan set within a few minutes. And then our automation process supported by Solargraph is powered AI that automates a lot of the complex permit designs that you guys face and ensures that you have the most efficient precision and accuracy with your designs. Also reducing errors and getting to the point with accuracy, supported by our AHJ database. And then reducing revisions. Revisions is a big one. It's a pain for a lot of plan sets that we see through our design services. So we want to give you the control to be able to go in and modify a design if there's any field corrections that come back. And then the ultimate goal, of course, is to get you an install-ready permit plan set and reduce your AHJ and reduce any AHJ kickbacks due to the accuracy we provide with our AHJ database that grows time over time. Great. So just before we jump in, I've got one more poll question, and then we'll go into the fun stuff with Mikhail's demo. So we want to get an idea, just to understand how much does a permanent plan set cost you today? So the ranges can be anywhere between, if you're outsourcing it, if you have designers in-house doing it, what would be the average cost, you'd say, for one permanent plan set, excluding, let's say, PV stamps? All right. Seems $100 is a winner, 100 and more. So that's another thing that we're going to help you save money on with this feature. All right, great. So I'm done. I'm going to hand it over to Mikkel, and then we'll reconvene again at the end of Mikkel's demo, just to run the Q&A session. But again, feel free to post your questions in the chat, and we have moderators. We will do our best to answer all the questions. So Mikkel, I'll hand it over to you.
Thanks, Hisham. I'll go ahead and share my screen and we can get started. Right. Is my screen visible?
Yep.
All right, great. So I'm here on the Solargraph homepage here. So there's two ways to generate a permanent plan set. I'm going to go right away from the very beginning. So let's just say you are starting a brand new project and you haven't created a proposal yet. What you'll do is you'll hit new project. You'll enter your address. You'll enter the client's name. Hit next. Continue. And this will take you to this home page here of the project. From here, you'll have the option to create permit set. So this is what we're going to do. You'll hit create permit set. It's going to take you to the satellite imagery of the house, and you'll actually get started on your design. So go ahead and hit create permit set. So again, this is if you're starting from scratch, you haven't done a proposal, you still need to draw your roof and lay your modules. And for instance, let's just go back here to our home page real quick. Let's just say I actually did do my proposal and then my roof was drawn and modules are placed. You would hop onto your project page here and click create plan set, and it'll take you to that same exact satellite image, and you'll get started from there as well. So the first thing I'm going to do is, since we don't have a project pre-created here, is hit the pen tool, and I'm going to do detect roof outline. So this will actually trace out our entire roof with all of the facets. And then from there, I'll go ahead and click the wizard. So what this is going to do is detect all of the trees and obstructions and create our 3D model of our roof. So you can see our roof is over here. We have all our obstructions and trees all auto-generated for us. Next, we'll hop over to step 2. And the first thing we want to do is we want to make sure that our AHJ is correct. So what we do is we'll click fire setbacks. Under fire setbacks, you'll notice that these gray lines represent the fire setbacks were actually pre-populated for you. The reason that happens is that we have, as Hisham mentioned, we have an AHJ database that we're constantly updating every single day, and it has almost every single jurisdiction across the US. So based on your address, we'll populate the fire setbacks automatically for you. So for instance, this one is Suffolk County of New York. And let's just say the county level didn't exist, we would automatically default to the state level. And on the other end of it, if there was a city level AHJ, we would default to city level AHJ. This one doesn't have it, so it just goes to the county level. So leave it as is. And then let's just say you did want to add some more fire setbacks. You always have that option. You can click any of the lines on the roof here. And when you say like, oh wait, I actually want to add a fire pathway, you can go ahead and do that if you'd like yourself. You want to have some extra protection. From there, I'll go ahead and click add panels. I'm going to auto place the panels here on this roof facet. So I just have my Hanwha Q cells, and I'm going to go ahead and use the MK's IQ8 Plus microinverters here. We are OEM agnostic, so we do indeed support string inverters as well. But for this project, I'm going to do a full home backup system with the IQ8 Plus micros. So I'm going to go ahead and click this roof facet. And just to illustrate some more panels, I'll just go ahead and click this one as well. So we fill up our roof with modules. Next thing we want to do is pay attention to this ribbon on the left-hand side. Before you go to step 3 and 4, you want to make sure that there's nothing that is red here. So two things that are red is the stringing and this little I-beam, which is the structural details. So go ahead and click the stringing. And what we're going to do is we're going to string up our array. As we go across our array, you'll see that there's electrical validations going on the back end. And if you go a little bit too far, the whole array is going to turn red. So that way, you know, one of the validations was broken. So you want to make sure that the array is white. So you have one branch circuit here for micros. And if you were doing strings, you'd have one string. So we'll go ahead again, we'll click one of the ends and work our way across. And now we'll have 2 branch circuits. From here, we'll go ahead and click this I-beam for structural details. You'll add your roof material. So we have a list of all the types of roofs. We have asphalt shingle, ceramic tile, CalPac, et cetera, et cetera. For this instance, we'll just leave it as asphalt shingle. And then next, you'll select your attachment type. We'll go ahead and use the Iron Ridge Flashfoot 2. And then we'll go ahead and select our rail. So for this one, we'll just do the XR10s. Next, you want to add your attachment details. So basically, this is asking if you want to stagger or not stagger your attachments. And what that means is, and it'll be better illustrated when we actually generate the plan set, is basically on a row level, as each attachment hit each rafter twice. So if you're staggering, it go attachment up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. If you're not staggering, you'll hit every single rafter, up and down, up and down, up and down. So we'll go ahead and just do stagger just to illustrate how that looks. And then spacing for the attachments, meaning if you have low snow and wind load, you can actually skip rafters to save on material costs. So since we're staggering, we're going to skip one rafter here. But if you want to skip more, you can do that as well. Just make sure you check with your HEE. So next we'll go ahead and select our rafter size. We'll do 2 by 4 inches. And then we'll say our rafters are 24 inches on center, which just means the spacing of the rafters are 24 inches apart. Then we can select our type. We'll just leave the option of rafters or trusses. Since it's a residential home, we'll just leave it as rafters. And we'll click this little blue link to copy over our information from this roof facet to this one. And we'll go ahead and hit apply. So you'll notice that now there's nothing red here. So we're ready to move to step 3. So again, very important to make sure there's nothing red. We'll go ahead and click battery. And again, we're really focusing here on generating the SLV and permit plan set. So I'm just going to run an Enphase battery system and just have a suggestion for some batteries, and then we'll hop right over to the electrical design. So for manufacturer, we'll select Enphase. We'll do IQ battery 5P, and we'll just do show battery recommendations. So it looks like for this project, we have 3 IQ batteries, which is fine by us. And we'll hop over straight to step 4. So once we're in step 4, all that's left for us to do is complete our circuit. And again, you see this little ribbon pop up. You want to make sure nothing is red. So you see electrical placeholder is red, but also if you click on this little button here, we'll go through that a little later, the line diagram button is red, meaning we didn't complete our circuit yet. So you want to make sure that these 2 things are completed before you generate anything. So hop over to line diagram. And we try to make this as intuitive as possible. So we have a list, since this is an AC system, meaning that there's microinverters. We open up this little hamburger menu for you automatically for AC system configuration. And DC system configuration and inverter configuration are closed. If you were doing an inverter system, a string inverter system, these 2 menus would be open for you automatically as well. But for now, we'll just keep these closed. And we'll work our way down this list to complete our circuit. So I'll go ahead and add the AC combiner box. And you'll notice how once I added that, my 2 strings automatically, or branch circuits, automatically connected to our combiner over here. And from there, we'll add our disconnect. You'll see how the combiner automatically connects to the disconnect. Then here you have the option to make the disconnect fused or unfused. So if you're doing a line side taps, you can click fused. Let's just say, for instance, you were doing a line side tap, but you forgot to make it fused. Don't worry, the system will automatically make the AC disconnect fused for you. Next, you have your production meter. So here you can choose if you want to have your production meter to the left or the right of the AC disconnect, meaning on the load or line side of the AC disconnect. I'll just do left just to illustrate how that looks. And then we'll hop back over and we'll skip the sub panel here for now. That is an optional component. You can add that. And if you have a partial home backup, you would add that there. But we'll go ahead and add our main service panel. And here you can add your meter number. So that's just from your site survey. On your utility, you can leave this field blank. We're going to get rid of this field eventually because we also do have a utility database where it automatically pulls directly from that database. Service voltage, we'll leave it at 240 volts. So we do only support right now US residential systems. So that again, that's 240 volts. And then the tie-in, we have the load side breaker tie-in, but we also have line side connection solar ready, line side taps, load side breaker tie-ins, and then we have load side breaker tie-in with the utility meter attack part of the main breaker part of the utility meter, and we have our two split bus bar options. So I'll leave it as a load side breaker tie-in, which is our typical tie-in here, and we have our feed bottom fed, center fed, or top fed. So this just means where is your main service panel, your main circuit breaker. So is that on top of the main service panel, the center, or bottom? So leave it as top fed here. And here you have your existing main breaker. So again, from your site survey, and then you have your bus bar rating. New main breaker rating. So we will auto derate the main breaker for you if the backfeed is too high and you don't have PCS. However, if you just want to derate the system no matter what, you can always override what we do and click like say, hey, no matter what, derate it to 150 amp breaker. So I'll leave that as none for now. Internal meter just means that the utility meter is part of the main service panel in one enclosure. U panel just means we're doing an MPU. We will connect our battery here because we'll do a full home backup. And then battery disconnect just means if your battery is really far from the system controller and you need an additional disconnect, you can add that. So I'll go ahead and add that as well just to illustrate how that looks. And we'll go ahead and select the system controller 3. So then our circuit is essentially complete here, but remember this little electrical placeholders ribbon is still red, so we want to click that. And then we want to add the utility meter here. And you'll notice that there's other electrical components you can add. They're all optional. The only one that you have to add is utility meter. So you can add your system controller and your production meter and your rapid shutdown if you'd like. We'll just leave that blank for now just to not clutter. Yep.
I apologize. I'm going to interrupt you for a second. There is a humming in your mic. Can you maybe try to turn your mic off and turn it back on?
Sure. Sorry, let me just give me one moment.
Sorry, give us a minute.
Hey, is this better?
Sorry, Mikkel, can you talk?
Yeah, can you, is this better?
Yes, this is much better. Yes.
Okay, great.
Thanks.
Sorry, guys. Let me just hop back into that. All right, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, great. So we're back here. Essentially, so our circuit is effectively complete now. But before we click generate permits there, you notice that the line diagram button is still red. So what that means is we want to make sure you generate a preview of the SLD before you generate the full permit package. So I just hit the generate line diagram button. You'll see this little icon spinning around. So what that means is that in the 20 seconds, you'll have a preview of the single line diagram that you can actually download before you generate the full permit package. So you'll see on the right-hand side, we have a single line diagram that was generated here. And this is a full home backup. So you can tell that the system controller is in front of the main service panel because it's backing up all of these loads. And we have our additional battery disconnect that we added over here. We have our 3 Enphase IQ batteries here as well. And we have our combiner. So we have our entire system here. From here, now we're ready to go ahead and click generate permit set. And it's going to take you to this final screen here. And here, you just want to confirm that all the information is correct. You have your client's name, the utilities here, the AHJ codes are automatically here. Your company logo would go here. So that way you have the look and feel of your company in the permit plan set. And if you have any other PDFs you want to add to the plan set, you can go ahead and drag and drop them into here. And that'll automatically append them to the final plan set. Also, if you want to add any additional notes to the plan set, you can go ahead and do that. You'll add, so this would add it to the site and roof plan page if you want to add any notes, and then this can add it to the electrical notes page as well. So I'll go ahead and click generate permit set. And you'll see this little spinner here, and this takes about 1 to 2 minutes. And what's going to happen is you're going to get a zip file directly onto your hard drive. And in that zip file, you'll open it up, and then there'll be an AutoCAD file. That AutoCAD file you can open up and do any last minute changes, or if you're ready to go, PDF it and submit it to your AHJ. Again, this feature is currently in beta, so the next thing that's going to come out, obviously before we go GA, is you'll be able to actually not only get the DWG file, but you'll also get the PDF as well. So here's our zip file. Make sure, this is really important, make sure you do extract all or unzip. So that way all the external references are correct. You'll open this up. You'll see this CAD file here. You'll double click this. And you'll have your CAD file here. And this is your full permit plan set. So this is the first page of the permit plan set. Your company logo is going to go up here on the right-hand side. All of your contractor information will be over here. If you need a PE stamp, we left a little signature and seal box over here for the PE. You have your vicinity map and satellite image here. You have your system summary over here as well. And then you have your AHJ codes pulled directly from our AHJ database that is, again, dynamically taken care of and always updated. You have your property lines that are auto-drawn for you. And we also add the dimensions of the property lines for you as well. And we also give you the distances from the house to the property line. So this is your first page, your cover page here. And again, the legend is dynamic. So based on the BOS equipment that you've added, this will be automatically updated for you. We also have your APN number and all of these things. So next we'll go to page 2. Now this is a zoomed in look on the roof. So this is the roof plan itself. You'll notice that the rafters are auto drawn for you, and so are the attachments. We staggered the attachments, so you'll notice how the attachments are going up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And you'll see your BOS is all over here where we placed it. And then you'll see these 2 orange triangles, and 1 and 2. So this is referring to the roof asset. So you have your roof description table. So roof plane 1, you know your azimuth, your pitch, your rafter size, rafter spacing, etc. And you also have your design criteria. So we pull in the exposure category, wind speed, and snow load. So if you need a PE stamp and they require this information, that's all there for them already. We also give you some structural calculations. So you have your pounds per square footage, and what percentage of the roof is covered in panels. So if you need to adjust your fire setbacks, you can. And we also give you a bill of materials. So this includes all of your electrical equipment and some structural equipment like your attachments, rail splices, mid clamps, and grounding lugs. And then next we'll go to page 3. And then this is your attachment detail page. So this is just the side view of your attachments. Next, we'll go to page 4, which is our single line diagram. We saw a preview of this earlier, but here you also have your AC wire details, your system controllers in front of the main service panel, as I mentioned before, indicating that as a full home backup. And we have your extreme case module outputs, which is you have your short circuit current, circuit voltage calculations based on the minimum and maximum temperatures of the location of your project. And then you have your system summary. Next, you have page 4.1, which is a 3-line diagram. All the calculations are the same as a single line diagram. The only difference is that you have your 2 live conductors, the L1, L2, and then you have your neutral and ground wires here as well. So that's all here for you. And then we have page 5, which is a detailed electrical calculations page. So if you get a PE stamp or if AHJ or utility requires this information, this just shows you how we calculated all of our overcurrent protection, how we calculated our conductors, and what D rates we've used. Next, we have our placards page. So based on your NEC year, so this looks like NEC 2017, we call out all of the placards for you. We can give you a little map placard of the location of the BOS and where you placed it. And we actually also fill out the placards for you as well. Page 7 is your 7 and on are your spec sheets. So your modules, you'll have your micros, you'll have your batteries, and so on and so forth. I don't want to bore you guys to go through 18 pages of or 8 pages of spec sheets, but you get the point. So this is your full permit plan set. If you're content with this, you'll be able to just PDF this and then just send it off right to your AHJ. We did make all of the blocks dynamic in AutoCAD. So for instance, if you click this, you'll see a little drop-down menu. Let's say you want to make it a Z shape, you can do that, or an S shape. Or maybe you don't want it at all, you can just delete it. So everything is dynamic. So all the options you have in Solargraph UI are actually in these drop-down menus in dynamic blocks. So you can click this main service panel, click this little drop-down. Here are all your options for the types of main service panels that you can have. And then again, you're in CAD. So if there's something you don't want anymore, maybe you don't want this panel, you can delete it. If you want to add a panel, you can. We try to make it as flexible as possible for you in case you do need it. But yeah, of course, the goal is to really just give something, quick 10, 15 minutes. You generate a full permit package. You don't have to wait overnight. You can just go ahead and send it off and get on the roof as quickly as possible. So that was my demo. I'll take a pause here and hand it over back to Shem. And then I'm sure we'll have plenty of questions and things like that. We have plenty of time for that.
Yeah, thanks, Mikhail. So we got a couple of questions on the chat. The first question is from Andrew. Are those spec sheets uploaded by Solargraph or by the user?
Yeah, so we do have a utility database, equipment database that we upkeep. So that includes the spec sheets. So every time you use an AHJ, then instead of you create a project in Solargraph, it will use our global database. You do have the option to add your own equipment if there's anything missing. However, I do really recommend to use our equipment in the global database because we added all of the required fields to generate an SLD and permit plan set.
All right. A lot of questions here on the beta. So as Bhavani's answering, who's one of our moderators, we will basically send out some communication to those of you who have Solargraph accounts and don't see the electrical design tool feature and the create a permit set button on your account. We'll make sure to add that on your account. So Mikhail and our training team will kind of lead the onboarding for to get you guys on the beta. All right, more questions? So Mikhail, another one, have you tried opening the DWG in the Bricsys CAD? Not sure what that is.
No, I've never actually heard of that software, to be quite honest, but if it supports DXS or DWGs, then you should be able to open it. I haven't tried though. So.
Okay. So again, guys, if you are interested to be part of the beta and you have an active Solargraph account, just message in the chat and I'll work with Mikhail and our team to make sure all of you get access to it. All right. Chris, can you specify the features that you don't see in your electrical design section? Okay, until Chris answers. So Brian, yes, I will tag you. All you need to do is go to solargraph.com, book a demo. In the meantime, I'll make sure there's a rep that contacts you after the call, earliest by tomorrow morning, to get you signed up on an account. I will post our website, so anybody who's interested in a one-on-one demo with a rep, you guys can submit a request directly on the website. But then again, you can just post in the chat and we'll have somebody reach out. So pricing has not been determined yet. It will be somewhere in the ranges of around $30 is what but that's not confirmed. We're still doing, as we get more feedback on the beta, we will announce pricing. But for now, during the beta, there's no charge to it until it goes live for everybody. Okay.
It looks like Layla has pricing. I think you had another question, Layla, about API. Oh yeah, about the APIs. Do you mean an API specifically for the plan set? If that's the case, right now there's no plan to open up the API, an API for the plan set itself. You just go through Solargraph, like through the Solargraph UI.
Another question, I'll read out some from Craig. Could you have a house with split systems such as an in-phase subpanel and a Tesla subpanel split off at the service entrance panel?
So right now we don't have split systems. It's only, you only have like one system. If you do have two systems, like if you're upgrading an older system, you'd have to combine them in like one AC combiner panel first and then have only one interconnection. In terms of support, we will add Powerwall 3 at some point support. Right now we just have System Controller 1, 2, 3, and 3G support. So yeah, let's see, anything for third parties to programmatically access the say integration to other apps or in-house workflows. We do have API documentation for Solargraph itself. I think, Layla, we can probably share that with you.
Yeah. I'll add that in the chat.
Okay. You can, I'll just try to do it. Yeah, so guys, if you don't have Solargraph, then just make sure to set up a one-on-one call with our sales team, and then we'll hopefully get you guys some access eventually to the beta. If you are a Solargraph member and you're doing around 20 proposals a month on average, and you'd like to join the beta, then definitely feel free to reach out. We're looking for participants. Would love your feedback. Let's see. Looks like we saw a pretty good crowd here. Are there any more questions? Let's see if they've slowed down.
Okay, we have a lot of beta requests, which is good. Mikhail's going to be happy. He's always looking for installs to test the feature and give us more feedback.
Yeah.
Just make sure, guys, we'd appreciate more and more feedback. We want to get this rolling out as soon as possible so everybody can enjoy doing their own plan sets.
If you are a California installer, we are working on having grid-tied batteries as well in the next coming weeks.
So I'll just keep that in mind as well.
Okay, still got some time.
Yeah, we can hang out for a couple of minutes
Yep.
if there's any more questions. Thanks, Layla. Appreciate it. Can it be used for commercial? So right now we don't support commercial designs. That's a question that's been asked quite a bit. We will take that up at some point, but right now we're really focusing on getting residential out. At least on the plan set side. When you said $30, is that an estimate for per plan set? Yes, that is correct. That was the estimate per plan set.
Right, it is for the plan set. All right, more questions, guys? We're here.
What's the monthly fee?
Are you, Layla, are you asking about subscriptions? Or in specific to the plan set? The plan set is basically to pay as you go every time you use it. Once it's out there, you will be charged the fee. And then we have monthly subscription fees based on the number of users you need. You can see the subscription pricing in our website. And we'll also have somebody from the sales team contact you to give you basically a personalized demo of the whole platform. And then we can look into how many users you plan to have.
What happens on either proposal or design if there is no imagery? So you can actually upload your own imagery in SolarGraph, and then you can work your way from there if something exists.
Another one from Anthony. How do you deal with an installation in an HOA? Suppose you want to install on the commune swimming pool.
So you do have the CAD file. So if there's anything that's like very, very specific to the HOA, then you can open up that CAD file and make any of those last minute adjustments. Obviously, over time, we're going to keep improving this tool and adding more and more features. So we'll try to keep you more onto the UI than onto the CAD file. That's awesome, Chris. Glad that you're excited.
Thanks.
We're excited too. And Brian, can you build a house like you can in Aurora? I'm not sure if I understand the question. Maybe Hisham or Bhavani, if you're there moderating.
So Craig, to your question, estimates on when the beta would be over. So we're in the process of getting a lot of feedback, and we're targeting somewhere around mid to end of August for this feature to be available for everyone. But then again, if you're interested to be part of the beta, just show your interest in the chat, and we'll make sure to have somebody contact you.
When you say not commercial, do you mean no three-phase? Correct. For now. Plan sets for on the commercial scale are definitely more intensive. So
Can we use it for metal framing?
yeah,
Question from Pankaj. Okay. So Brian, you mentioned, can you build a house like you can in Aurora? So do you mean building a house that's not being built yet? If that's your question, it's not possible today. But again, like Mikhail mentioned, you can upload a set of blueprints with measurements, and you can create a design in SolarGraph using those. Craig, I don't see why the HJ wouldn't accept the design from the software because again, it's a permit plan set. Mikhail, have you had any of our beta testers submit an actual one?
Yeah, we had quite some of our beta testers submit the plan sets they generated. They haven't had any issues. They've gotten all approval. Again, it's a tool for you guys to help you out. At the end of the day, you have the CAD file. You can do whatever you need to do to based on your process to make sure that you can get to install.
Brian, I think I did answer your question. So you cannot build a house from scratch, but you can work on a set of blueprints or a drone image. Yes, I
Yeah.
agree, Brian. Definitely.
Yeah, we wanted to make sure that I know once you get to the plan set level of things, it can get pretty comprehensive. So we wanted to make sure that you guys have as much flexibility as possible. That's why we kept the DWG, we kept the dynamic blocks. We just try to give you guys as many options as possible with this.
Yeah. And just to give you guys an idea of what we're doing, we're really taking our time with this feature to make sure we get the right feedback before we release it, because we believe it's going to be a marketing differentiator, right? The Solograph goal is to basically streamline your whole design and proposal process, preliminary and project management. Your API will lead into Solograph. You create a roof, you enter your bills, your consumption, create a roof design using all the automated features, roof detection, smart designer. You generate a proposal, discuss that with your customer, try to close, integrate your contracts, all being done on one platform, multiple fintechs integrated, and we're looking to get more into the platform, and then finally able to generate a permit plan set. So we're trying to keep the installer journey smooth, easy, seamless in one platform. Rasul, yes, so this session is recorded and you'll all receive a recording post the session along with the deck and contact information if you'd like to reach out to reps to discuss subscription plans. We will have some communication sent out to everybody that flagged their interest for beta.
And also we have, if you haven't done so, check out our YouTube channel. We have, Hashem and I did a similar session like this a few months ago, so that's on there. Maybe we could post this one as well. So you can always check that out whenever you want.
All right, we've got a few more minutes. Any last minute questions?
Is there additional price for the proposal portion? Hashem, do you want to explain how the proposal pricing works?
So for the proposals, it's basically, we have proposals as a service where you can order a proposal from Solograph for a fee. And then we have volume-based pricing depending on your monthly volumes. And then with any subscription plan that you choose to select, which is a per user plan, depending on the number of users you need on the platform to create proposals, that we include unlimited proposals with those plans, but we charge per user. And I've just shared a link with our pricing plans that would give you an idea what our standard plans are all the way up to 6 users. And then we have our enterprise tier. We'll do the trenching calculation.
Oh, yes, we do that. So we are going to open it up to ground mounts. I could maybe quickly share my screen. I'll show you guys something cool.
Go ahead.
Can you guys see my screen?
Yep.
So on the plan set side, we haven't opened it up to ground mounts, but when we do, you'll be able to go. You see this little wire configuration button. You click that. These are all the conductors all the wires you made for your circuit. So let's just say you had a trench. Let's just say, I don't know, for example, this is a trench and it was over here. You can click this wire button, click that wire, and then you can say like, oh, I want to save on cost, make it an aluminum conductor. It's actually, it's on the ground, so you leave it as ambient, but you can choose between roof and ambient of where the conductor is. Parallel, and say it's like a super long run with high voltage drop. You can run parallel conductor sets to reduce that voltage drop. And then you can change your length. So these are like, we have default lengths here. So if it's a super long trench, you could go up to 1,000 feet. And then if need be, we can increase that as well. You also have conduit grouping. So if you have, multiple inverters going into an AC combiner panel, for example, you can tab conduit grouping and it'll put all of the conductors into one conduit and it'll adjust the conduit calculations as well for you automatically. And then it'll also auto update all the voltage drops and everything like that.
Mikhail, there's one question. Do we support ground mounts? For self-generated.
For plan sets, we currently do not, because you need a roof technically right now. What some people do is they'll draw like a little fake roof and then draw out the ground mount, and that kind of works. But we will like officially open up ground mounts soon. So if you're trying to like kind of hack it, you can just draw a little roof and then use our ground mount feature that you would use for proposals and then string it up that way.
So Brian, instead of typing, I'll just answer your question right there. So yes, you are correct. It is a monthly fee per user, or you get a group of users for different subscription tiers. And then if you use the self-generated permits when it's GA, there will be a fee of around $30, yet to be confirmed. And then the other option is if you use us, if you use our managed services team to deliver or design permit sets for you, we can offer a permit design volume tiers on that. But initial thinking, you are correct.
If we use different racking, is that feasible right now? Say one roof with tilt kit. So right now the racking is consistent for the entire roof. You're only able to select one racking type per roof, which I think is most scenarios, but I'm sure there's instances like a mixed roof or something like that. That is a feature we will be adding down the road though.
All right, we've got probably another 5 minutes before we wrap up. So any last minute questions? Everybody that inquired about pricing, we'll have somebody contact you. If you do not prefer to have a rep contact you, you can basically go on the Solargraf website, schedule a demo, and you'll be able to schedule a one-on-one appointment with a rep to discuss pricing, to go through the whole platform from scratch. Pankaj, so we can use ballast mount as well, right?
So for ballast calculations, kind of typically for flat roofs, which is more commercial. We don't do ballast calculations right now. There may be an option if you do like TPO roof or flat roof and select that, I'll give you that side view. But we don't do ballast calculations. Thanks, Leslie. Thanks for joining. When will we know we have the beta access?
I believe Mikhail, we would send out communication with next steps and all that, and then there would be a session to make sure that's enabled, right?
Yeah, this week or early next week, yeah, someone should reach out to you.
welcome, Michael. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, guys, hopefully you guys are excited for this feature. We've been working on it for quite some time now. So excited to get it into your hands.
All right, I'll just keep it open for another 2 minutes for any last minute questions. Welcome, Travel. Welcome, Anilka.
Thanks, Greg. We hope
Thanks,
so
Greg.
too. Is there a go, no go point? I'm sure. I don't think I fully understand the question.
Anthony,
Like,
Anthony, can you reply, please?
Oh, you mean
Continue.
like if you generated the plan set and you paid for it, and then you like don't want to do the project anymore? Okay. It's a good question. Right now, honestly, if you paid for it, you would have already have used the service. There's no way for us to know that you're not gonna not install it, if that makes sense. So if you generated the plan set, you would have already paid for it at that point.
So Anthony, because it's still in beta, we don't have set pricing for it. We haven't really thought about a revisions workflow yet. So probably to start, we would have to look at specific exceptions if we were to credit back any credits for what you've paid. So we don't have a solid answer for you, but as Mikhail said, if you do use the feature, you will be charged for it. But then we can always look at case-by-case exceptions to start.
Yeah, we're pretty nice, so I think the team will be happy to work with you.
I hope so. Just kidding.
All right, guys. I think
And
we're good here.
any last-minute questions before we wrap up in a minute? So again, everybody's going to receive the recording and the follow-up email with our contact information, how to contact the sales rep, how to contact our support line, and then we will send separate communication to all the people who showed interest in the beta. All right, good stuff. So I think I'm going to give you guys 2 minutes back. There's no more questions. We really appreciate seeing you guys on all our webinars, a lot of familiar faces, and also like to always welcome new people to the Solargraph platform. And stay tuned to our next communication for our upcoming webinars. We've got them scheduled. We've got a few scheduled every quarter.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.